way to the evening news. It's 2 minutes to the hour of 6 o'clock right here. Compliments of our wonderful, wonderful friends at Caribbean Alliance. Don't forget, pick up that phone and give the good folks at Caribbean Alliance a call. And yeah, that's about it. Very, very, very simple. And of course, that's such our good friends at La Falaise. Just before we cross over to the news.
La Falaise Medical Laboratory, my preferred choice for professional and confidential medical laboratory services. La Falaise provides results for all medical tests. If it can't be done there, they will facilitate it through their international partners. Their main office in Roseau is open from 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Mondays to Fridays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Home visits and emergency services are also available. Call 448-0100, WhatsApp 276-5213 or visit any of their other locations. Picard in Portsmouth, Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Marigot, Mondays and Wednesdays, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Or Grande, every first and third Thursday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. La Falaise Medical Laboratory, my choice, your choice, our choice.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise. Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
Good evening, I am Leila Langford.
And I am Alian Christopher.
In the headlines, Dominica secures 83.3% pass rate in regional examination for nurse registration.
In news from the region, John D. Martin returns as Attorney General in St. Vincent and the Grenadines ahead of the general election.
And internationally, EU tightens visa restrictions on Russians over the Ukraine war and acts of sabotage. Details of the news when we return.
It's in the feeling and how we talk. It's in the meaning and our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are.
DBS News.
Welcome back. Making the lead story this evening, Dominica has achieved an 83.3% pass rate in the October 2025 sitting of the regional examination for nurse registration. A total of 18 students sat the exams, 16 students sat the exams for the first time, while 2 students sat the exam for the second time. Michaela Nation from the Dominica State College, Faculty of Health Sciences, topped the list of Dominican candidates. Rihanna Thomas from the Dominica State College was also named another outstanding performer. The Faculty of Health Sciences at the Dominica State College secured a 100% pass rate in the regional exams.
Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore, has emphasized the importance of proper judicial administration in addressing the challenges facing Dominica's justice system. His comments were made during the equipment handover ceremony for the Dominica Police Force this morning. The equipment was donated as part of the UNDP Pace Justice Project.
If we are going to be serious on talking about addressing frontally the issue of backlog, there must be a system in place where emphasis can be placed from the time a matter is filed before the court, or from the arrest standpoint and the filing standpoint, and up to the conclusion. And it seems to me, therefore, having a system whereby we can have proper judicial administration, because we have to go beyond the prosecution, beyond the police, and look at the whole issue of judicial administration. A number of times, some of the issues that we have are because of some of the limitations that we have within the judiciary. The whole issue of how do you keep records, how do we keep information and technology, and how do we manage case files, how do we manage cases, how do we assign dates. And it seems to me, therefore, we have to critically look at the magistrate court system, because most of the matters are disposed at the magistrate court level.
Minister for National Security Rayburn Blackmore, meantime resident representative at the UNDP Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Limia El Tayeb, says this new equipment will enhance the capabilities of the police service.
We are here today under the umbrella of the PACE project, which is the partnership between the EU and the Caribbean on justice. The PACE project in the Caribbean is implemented by UNDP, and we are working in 8 countries across the Caribbean. And we have 3 major objectives: technology, human resource capacity, and policy and legislative reform. Today, we are here to celebrate and to hopefully make use of the opportunity under technology by this handover of specific hardware for the police service to be able to move from a paper-based solution, hopefully, to a digital solution. We all know that the criminal case backlog in the Caribbean is very high. It's not just in the Caribbean, it's a global problem, but it is high in the Caribbean. And that pre-trial detention of those in the justice process is often spanning many years, sometimes into a decade.
That is resident representative at the UNDP Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Limia El Tayeb.
Minister for Health Kasani Laville is reporting an increase in emergency surgeries at the Accident and Emergency Department of the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. His comments came as a new emergency operating theatre was commissioned at the Accident and Emergency Department on Thursday.
This intervention is strategic and timely, as we have observed a significant increase in emergencies over the years. From 251 emergency surgeries in 2022 to 335 emergency surgeries in 2023 and 325 emergency surgeries in 2024. According to our surgical teams, this represents about a 32% increase in that period, an exceptionally high volume of emergency cases, and the need for a dedicated emergency theatre has become increasingly evident. Surgeons have described when seconds have made the difference, and when open fractures, stab wounds, gunshot injuries, and various head traumas and internal bleeding, all conditions that could be treated more safely and more efficiently within the walls of our A&E theatre.
Minister for Health Kasani Laville. Mr. Laville says the new operating theatre will greatly improve access to healthcare for Dominicans.
It allows our clinicians, our surgeons, anesthesiologists.
If we are going to be serious and
It allows our clinicians, our surgeons, anesthesiologists, and nurses to intervene immediately and safely at the point of care. It means better outcomes, fewer complications, and ultimately many more lives saved. Today, we open a theatre that brings surgery to the patient, not the patient to surgery. We are closing the gap between injury and intervention, between crisis and recovery. This facility is more than a new room. It is a promise that when the next emergency arrives at our doors, this hospital, the Dominica China Friendship Hospital, will be even more prepared to save lives. Ready to act, ready to serve, ready to save, ready to give life another chance. We have come a long way on this journey. from long open walls and halls, working essentially in the dark, to now having this dignity right here, modernity, research, and the miracles that we have today at this esteemed institution.
Minister for Health, Kasani Laville.
Former Minister for Health, Dr. Kenneth Daru, has been appointed Interim Chief Executive Officer of the Dominica Hospital Authority. Dr. Daru replaces St. Lucian Nancy Francis, who served in the position for the last 2 years.
So I want to say thanks to the work of the former CEO, my predecessor, Miss Francis, who is a St. Lucian by birth, and she spent 2 years here, and I want to thank her for the tremendous work that she did in setting the foundation, setting, I think, the authority on a clear course, to prosperity. When the minister called to ask whether I could step in as interim CEO, of course, it had to give it some serious thought. I would have had to get out of my comfort zone, semi-retirement, sort of, to get back, of course, to manage, the challenges that come with managing a national hospital. But I felt honored and humbled that, that I got called to serve in that capacity. And I think the reason, of course, was given to me that I would have had a panoramic view of the health system, serve as a patient, a medical doctor, intern, Minister of Health, and of course, I was Deputy Director of the board, so they would have had a 360 view of the health system and the hospital and what it entails. Well, since then I've been very busy meeting staff, trying to hear from the staff, started with the different categories of staff, started from the domestic workers all the way up rather to the surgeons, etc., to kind of get a feel of what are the issues and, of course, to hear from them what they think of some of the solutions, etc. Pretty soon we'll be meeting, of course, with my boss, the Minister of Health, of course, to kind of give him a comprehensive report, of what I found out and how it is that, what is it that's needed, of course, to get the hospital moving to higher heights.
Dr. Daru says his first order of business is to restore the public's trust in the Dominica-China Friendship Hospital.
Unfortunately, we've seen, and of course we heard the Prime Minister kind of hinted at that over the years we've seen sort of a decline in the public's trust, some unjustifiably, of course, a lot of gossip mongering, etc. But it's mind-boggling to me, after millions of dollars worth of investment in a new building. This is 1,000% better than what existed before. I'm sure you knew what existed before. In terms of 1,000% more services, radiology, modern radiology. This is our 6th operating theatre in this hospital. That we had a complaints on most. So obviously there's some strategic moves that have to be made in terms of building the public's trust back in the Dominica-China Friendship Hospital, which is one of the reasons why I met with the staff, the human resource. The human resource is perhaps the most important asset of any institution, and in that case the hospital, because with all of the fancy equipment, the fancy x-rays, mammogram and MRI, if the staff who operate these are not motivated, they're not happy, etc., that we get the bad results. So of course this itself is a challenge. There are other challenges along the way, but I think my main focus, as I said, is to build people's trust back into the hospital, because we do have a lot of wonderful things going there place. So these are success stories that we think needs to be out there. The board is in the process of hiring a PR consultant.
Interim Chief Executive Officer of the Dominica Hospital Authority, Dr. Kenneth Daru.
In other news, Minister of State in the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, Senator Oscar George, has called on Dominican students to align themselves with the various career opportunities that are being presented in Dominica. The minister made the appeal to the students at the 2nd Annual Future Fest 2025, which was held at the Windsor Park forecourt. The minister highlighted the historic International Airport construction as one of the areas students can align with their career opportunity.
For example, there's opportunities around the construction of the International Airport. And these students is the largest project that's being done in the history of Dominica. This project will significantly improve access to the developed world. In the past, it was very difficult to get to the US or to get to the UK. Sometimes you had to overnight. Sometimes you had to lose baggages. But with International Airport, it will create opportunities so that you can get there directly to these international destinations. Also, the International Airport will facilitate small businesses. Many of us have aspirations to develop small businesses and become entrepreneurs. And we want to be able to send our produce out to Miami and the produce can get there in a matter of hours. Or send the produce to the UK, it can get there in a matter of hours. All this is possible by the construction of the international airport. And of course, the main thing is to boost tourist arrivals and of course boost economic activity. So the airport presents a major opportunity for young people. And just to tell you, hundreds of jobs will be created when the airport is completed. So we need young people to pursue careers relating to airport operation and management. And I ask of you today to get the most information you can get about the airport. The question you should be asking is, what job opportunities will be presented when the airport is completed? What do I have to study so that I can get a job in the international airport? And then you can position yourselves to benefit from what is happening in the international airport.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, Senator Oscar George. President of JCI Dominica, Firelander, encouraged the students to be bold with their future and seize the opportunities as they come.
Today is not just an information day. It is a day of opportunity. It is a day to think bigger. Be bold with your future. Do not limit yourself to what you always seen or what you were told is safe. There are more pathways today than ever before. Some are traditional, some are unconventional. Some you may have never heard about until you walk through these booths today. Give yourself permission to explore. Give yourself permission to ask questions. Give yourself permission to choose a future that not only pays the bills, but gives you purpose. Your generation is the one that will innovate, solve problems, build enterprises, shift culture, and lead the next chapter of Dominica's development. But that begins with one single step, deciding that your future matters and that you are willing to put the work behind it. So, engage, connect, learn something new, and leave here today with at least one new idea for your future.
President of JCI Dominica, Firelander.
And that's the National Focus, Regional and International Developments. Up next.
It's in the feeling and how we talk. It's in the meaning and our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life is pumping. Together going strong. No matter what we keep this going. Before we will go all in. Hands up in the sky. Celebrate and come let your rhythm flow.
DBS News.
In news from the region, John D. Martin was sworn in as Attorney General in St. Vincent and the Grenadines today for a second stint, replacing Greenville Williams, who is expected to be nominated on Monday as a candidate in the November 27 general election. The swearing-in took place at the Government House. Martin has returned to the post he left on November 4, 2022, after 5 years as the government's chief legal advisor. He is expected to be a placeholder until a new Attorney General is sworn in after the November 27th general election. Martin was Attorney General in St. Vincent and the Grenadines when the cabinet imposed the vaccine mandate, resulting in hundreds of public sector workers losing their jobs for failing to take a COVID-19 vaccine in November 2021.
And internationally, the European Union on Friday made it harder for Russian citizens to enter Europe's ID check free travel area due to Russia's continued war on Ukraine, increasing acts of sabotage blamed on Moscow and the potential misuse of visas. Russian nationals can no longer get multiple entry visas into the so-called Schengen area, which is made up of 25 of the 27 EU member countries, plus Liechtenstein, Iceland, Norway, and Switzerland. They will now have to apply for a new visa each time they travel to Europe, allowing for close and frequently scrutiny of applicants to mitigate any potential security risks, said the EU's executive branch, the European Commission.
That's news, the DBS Evening Sports Report. Up next.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Welcome to the DBS Evening Sports. Captain of the National Under-23 men's volleyball team, Larian Tulloch, says it is an honor to lead Dominica into battle. Tulloch will captain the team for the upcoming ECVA Under-23 tournament, which will take place in Antigua next week. Tulloch says while he was surprised with the appointment, he is looking forward to doing his best.
I felt like it was a great responsibility, and even though I'm not really a vocal person, I'm surprised they still picked me as captain, but I'm happy they picked. It will help me with my confidence a lot. For me, it's really a mental thing. The way you think has a lot to do with how you play and having confidence and be consistent with your training, because you cannot start training and then stop and expect to get better. So I just keep consistent with my training and try to gain my confidence.
Gain your confidence. All right, let's look at the team. And the coach did say that, preparations were a bit hampered because of the independence celebrations, lack of facilities and whatnot. But your thoughts on the team and what you think Dominica will do at that competition?
Even though we had some difficulties with the training, I feel like we still have a really versatile team. And some people still train with the clubs, so it will help a lot, even though we didn't really train together that much. I think we still have the ability to go out there and get the gold.
Get the gold. You would have been part of the national team that took part in the last tournament, and you also have a number of players who are part of that. So in terms of the experience, how do you look to use that experience from the senior tournament preparing for this under-23?
I use the experience a lot for my gameplay and also a lot to do with my confidence. I'll always keep on saying about confidence because it has a lot to play when you go into those type of tournaments, and just have confidence in your team, your teammates, and just go out there and try your best.
Captain of the National Under-23 men's volleyball team, Larian Tulloch. The full team is Larian Tulloch, Kazim Alexander, Miguel Fontaine, Jaden Robinson, Taj John Jules, Jamal Peltier, Dante Augustine, Kyron Phillip, Dinari Dyer, and Sharon Vidal. The tournament runs from November 12th to the 16th. The team is being coached by Itoma James with David Toussaint as the assistant.
Olympic swimmer Jasmine Schofield is among a 5-member national swim team representing Dominica at the 33rd OECS Swimming Championships in St. Vincent. The competition got underway this morning. Schofield is the national record holder in a number of events and has represented Dominica at a number of world events, including the Olympics in 2024 and the World Aquatic Championships. Michael Schofield, who is Jasmine's brother, will be the first competitor for Dominica as he takes part in the 100-meter breaststroke event this evening. We now join sports editor Gavin Richards, who is following the proceedings. We do apologize for not reaching Gavin at this time, but we continue with the sports.
And Buffalo State captain Eustace Marshall says his team won't be underestimating the mighty Avengers as they meet in the finals of the DFA Division 1 League on Saturday. Buffalo State, who were relegated last season, are undefeated so far in the competition and are one win away from a return to the Premier League. Marshall says confidence in the camp is high and his players are focused on a return to the Premier League.
The guys are motivated, the guys are ready, and we're just looking forward to get started done and over with.
All right, Jay. Basically, like you said, the guys are motivated. It's an important game. You faced them earlier on in the competition. You played to a 3-3 draw. What sort of lessons did you take from that encounter with Mighty Avengers?
Well, to be honest, I think we took them for granted the first game, especially one of the first games of the season. We came into the game lackadaisical. We approached them in a sense where we felt like we won the game already, and that cost us. But I mean, we took the positives from the game in terms of the fighting spirit that Buffalo State Club has shown over the years. Coming Saturday for sure, it will be a different ball game because we know what they want to achieve and we want to go back up. So at the end of the day, we know what we have to do, and it's just to go out there, get done early, and finish the game early.
Any injury concerns heading into the match? I know in the semi-finals there was Anthony Frederick, for example, picked up a knock. Guys are looking okay so far?
Yeah, man, everybody fit, everybody solid. I mean, Anthony's Anthony. Anthony is one of the most fouled players in the league. So it's not a surprise that he always get a little knock, but he's fit, he's running, he's up and ready, and he's ready, motivated for the game.
Buffalo State's captain Eustace Marshall. Meantime, head coach of the Do It Center Mighty Avengers team, Karim Regis, says his team is aware of what is at the task this weekend. A win for Mighty Avengers will also see them promoted to the Premier League for next season.
Well, you said it right, Gavin. Biggest game in my career as a coach, biggest game in the career, in the life of the Mighty Avengers, and standing in front of us is a mountain in Buffalo State. I'd be lying if I said that Buffalo State isn't a worthy adversary, and if there was anybody that's going to allow us to drop points, it's going to be them, and you said it right again. We were the only team to hold them to dropping some points, but that was very early in the season, and we can't look at that game and make that have any bearing on how we get ready for the finals on Saturday. I just need the team, all the guys to come together and be a cohesive unit and really put our best foot forward, because with the knockout football, it's all about on the day which team comes and which team really wants it more. And I really feel that myself and the guys want this, and at the end of the 90 minutes, one team has to win, one team has to lose. But, you know, with God on our side and with everything considered, and victory belonging to those who prepare for it, and I think we prepared properly, and we're going to give the crowd a good show and really give a good account of ourselves.
Head coach of the Do It Center Mighty Avengers, Karim Regis. The finals will take place at 7 p.m. on Saturday at the DFA Technical Center.
Captain of the Paybush Eagles team, Lenin Paul, says his squad is not discouraged by the regular season results with the BAA Sharks and feels confident that his team will come out on top in the finals. The Eagles will meet the Sharks Saturday in Game 1 of the Best of 5 series for the DABA Premier League title. The Sharks swept their regular season matchup with the Eagles winning both games.
We had like 2 weeks break, had some rest. I feel my guys are prepared, and you're right. The Benz got the best of us for the regular season. They beat us twice, but that's okay, because if everyone knows that's sports, and when you do play sports, that's what you play for. You play for the finals. You play to get to the finals and win it all. So I feel we have the upper hand because we've been there already. We have the experience. We made it to the finals last year. Unfortunately, Blazers got the best of us. But once again, we're here again this year, and I feel experience is going to get the better team to win.
captain of the Paybush Eagles team, Lenin Paul. Meantime, head coach of the BAA Sharks basketball team, Jerry Williams, is hoping his team can finish their story and walk away as champions of Dominica's basketball. The Sharks, in just their second season, finished runner-ups in the regular season and took down the happy 767 Sports Club Dominators to advance to the finals.
I'm very much pleased and happy with the achievement of the players. I just want to commend them. The signature of our team this year was basically defense. We emphasized defense. Once teams can't withstand our defense, it's just a run and gun mindset. We also have a half-court game. We have added some, that very important aspect of the game, that mid-range game. That has helped us throughout the season. We have adjusted because a lot of teams usually back down from us because they realize that we're a driving team. For the finals, we're just going to come how we did for the entire season. We met Paybush twice, we beat them twice, so we're capable of beating them again. We know they're not going to come and lay down and allow us to run over them. They're going to come hard at us. I think we have the same style of basketball. We're basically neighbors. Most of the players play against each other. Even in the off-season league, in the Paybush League, majority of the players from the Sharks played in that league on various teams. So it's no surprise that these two teams are in the finals because their season started way before the season, the DBS season started.
Head coach of the BAA Sharks basketball team, Jerry Williams. Game 1 of the best of 5 game series gets underway at 9 p.m. on Saturday at the Massac Indoor Facility. We now go back to the telephone lines to join sports editor Gavin Richards on the latest in the swimming event where Michael Schofield is involved.
Well, good evening, Leila Langford, and of course, good evening to the many listeners of DBS Radio at this point in time. And Leila, I greet you some good news for Dominica at the OECS Swimming Championships. Of course, this is our second time participating in recent years. And like you said earlier on, we have a 5-member team participating in the competition. Of course, the big athlete, the senior athlete, I should say, is Jasmine Schofield, who represented Dominica at the Olympics. But her very own brother, Michael, of course, on Schofield, he took part in the 15 to 17 age group, and that's the 100-meter breaststroke event, and that happened just a few moments ago. And of course, Michael Schofield put in a very good performance there, where he shaved some 8 seconds off his previous record, and he set a new personal best in that time as he finished in second place in his heat. Of course, he saw a time of 1 minute 20.15 seconds, which is 8 seconds better than his previous mark of 1 minute 28.08 seconds. And that's in the 100-meter breaststroke event. So very good for the young man. Of course, taking part in that 15 to 17 age group event. And they managed to get some comments from Michael very shortly after his performance. I'm sure DJ Halo Boy has that lined up, and then I'll get back to the report in a little bit. So, Halo Boy, let's hear from Michael Schofield.
Feel pretty good about it. Dropped 8 seconds. Hoping to drop a little more, but still did pretty good. Gave it my all. So.
Awesome. So it was the first race for Dominica, first day of the swimming championships. So you opened the championships for us, and you opened it pretty strong. So how do you think your rest of your races will be looking?
I think it gave me like a good start, just see where I am compared to everybody else. So I'm pretty confident for my next couple races. I think I'll do a lot better. Breaststroke isn't my best stroke, but I'm pretty confident for the next upcoming races.
All right, Joseph, DJ Halo Boy, thank you very much. So Leila, that was Michael Schofield speaking with Shamini Jupi Walls, the coach of the national swimming team. And of course, Dominica will be in action again tomorrow with more competition, as we will have Aiden Mondesay getting things underway tomorrow morning in the 200-meter event. 200-meter freestyle. We'll also have Sheikh El Shak participating in the 200-meter freestyle as well. And also Jasmine Schofield, the Olympic athlete, and of course a national record holder in so many events. She will be taking part in the 200-meter freestyle event as well. So there are lots of swimming action tomorrow, and I will bring you up to date with all of the results as soon as we get them in. But the big news so far is that Michael Schofield has set a new personal best and on his way to a second place finish in his heat in the boys 100-meter breaststroke event. And very good news for Michael Schofield. Leila, is back to you.
Our thanks to Gavin Richards for bringing us up to date on the event which is happening in St. Vincent.
And that's how we end the DBS Sports Report and news on behalf of the News and Sports Departments and our links person, Joseph Fadul. I was the presenter, Arlian Christopher.
Leila Langford, good evening. Join us for another newscast at 7 o'clock tomorrow.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilets,